Hello everybody, my name is Greaser Games and welcome to kind of a video to teach you how to set up a basic recording setup. So you go to obsproject.com or you can search it up just as long as you get to this website and install the one for your operating system. For me, I have Windows, but you can install for Mac, Linux, or Windows. Now, once you do that, you'll configure it all just like you do a normal program, and up will come this thing, but it will have a auto configuration wizard that I cannot open because I'm recording. But it'll pop up and it'll say, do you prefer for streaming and recording secondary or just for recording? I won't be streaming, or however you want to set it up. Now, after you do that, that's all fine and dandy. And you can even set up, if you're doing it a basic setup, you're going to be in here and you're going to be in output. You want to be in simple output mode, and your audio, you're going to want desktop audio enabled and mic enabled. Now, if you want to do editing on your video, and have multiple tracks on the video, so it's separate from your game audio, your Discord, and so on and so forth. Then you're going to need to install a plugin called Win Capture Audio. Now you see it here. You're going to go open up this first link here. That will bring you to the OBS forums, and you're going to click Go to Download. And you'll install the file that you want. If you're on a Windows, well, of course, this is made for Windows, but you're going to click on this first one. It'll be the easiest way to set it up, and make sure it's in the location of your OBS platform. After you install it, you go into the OBS and you'll click on Add, and you'll then see Application Audio Capture Beta. Now, you see that here in NS. NS is my nested sources. So you can create a scene, do whatever you want with that. But so I have 3 different scenes set up. But in NS controls my audio and everything else. So in NS we have Discord, game audio, mic, and I have display capture here just so you can see what I'm doing, because when I switch scenes like that, it also changes the sources because your sources, Anyway, Discord, you set it up to however you want. You make sure that it's on the Discord window that you want it on. Same thing with game audio. You make sure it's on the application that you want it to be on. And your mic, you want to make sure is set up on the mic that you're using. You can see I'm using a HyperX Quadcast S. And display capture naturally will go to your primary. If you do have a multiple display setup, you can easily just change it out there. Now, if you're like me, and again, if you're doing all this, after you do that, you're going to need to click on here, and you're going to need to click Advanced Audio Properties, and then set up your tracks however you want to be. So I have game audio on track number 1, mic on track number 2, and Discord on track number 3. You can have up to 6 tracks. And another thing here is you're going to go into Settings. You're going to switch your output from simple to advanced. After you do that, go over to recording and make sure that all 6 audio tracks are selected and that the recording format is an MKV. Now I have my encoder set up on lossless because that way I don't have to worry about losing any graphics, but it also will generate a larger file size. So just be wary of that, because this thing can generate file sizes of, hundreds of gigabytes if you let it. But that's only if you record 4K for over 2 hours. you'll record like 100 gigabytes worth of data. My normal set videos, which are normally an hour, only take about 50 gigabytes of data, roughly 40 to 50. And then you also want to go down here into audio and disable all your audios. You can leave microphone enabled if you want. I just have it in my nested so I don't have to worry about it. Because if you have I can mute my mic now, so it's not really a big deal. But if you can't mute your mic, then I suggest putting it into your nested audio. And so you just switch over to a scene that still has a display, something to display. Like, for example, my scene 3 is just this. But you are not able to hear me whenever I'm in scene 3. So that's just how it is. Now, when you record like this, all of your sound, all your tracks are not going to play at once in your standard video player. They will play in a video editor like Adobe Premiere Pro. It will play in that. And it will play on YouTube. It just will not play in how you have your current, your standard video will not play it. But yeah, that is about it for a simple setup. Another thing that you can do here is I already showed, but instead of having to do this display capture thing, you set it up for being any full screen application with the game capture. I already showed that. Game audio, you don't have to change every time you play a different game. But for example, Scrap Mechanic typically doesn't have a problem. I don't have to reset it normally. It just automatically hooks onto the audio, which is great. Discord, same thing for the most part. Mic, you don't ever have to change unless for some reason you disconnected your microphone or whatever and plugged it back in, then it might, not register up and you might have to check that. But other than that, I don't really have a problem with it. Also, you want to make sure you right click here. If your recording is out of frame, like let's say it's out of frame like that, right? You want to right click, click on transform, and then fit to screen. And it'll fix that, it'll put it into the screen box, and it'll make it easy enough. Now, all these audios you can customize and reduce the decibels out. But if you're doing it simple, right, then you're just going to have two different audio inputs. You're going to have desktop and microphone. And you can change it there instead of doing it in post editing like the rest of us. Other than that, also there's filters. So on my microphone here, I have noise suppression on, RN noise, which uses up the CPU a little bit. Not that big of a deal if you have a really good CPU like I do. But if you don't, then you're kind of out of luck there. Well, not really. OBS doesn't really use up your CPU very much. Your GPU doesn't really use up that much either. The only thing I do know, if you're playing a game, a 4K game, then your recording might mess up a little bit depending on your GPU, how well your GPU responds to it. I'm running a GeForce RTX 3070, and it doesn't have a problem normally with the games, but on certain games it does. Anyway, if you watched this whole video, then good for you. Give me a like or something, I don't know. But hope this helps anybody that wants to try to get into YouTubing or thinks that it's just too complicated for them to get into YouTubing. Adobe Premiere is a little bit expensive, so I don't suggest like going all out on Adobe Premiere whenever you're starting. until you get a good base. Heck, I shouldn't even be using Adobe Premiere, but I am, because I have enough from another income that I'm just doing this. But yeah, no. If you do enjoy this video, please give me a like and a subscribe. Maybe hit the notification bell icon, because I do play quite a bit of video games that you should check out. And I may post some random things here and there on the channel, so just pay attention. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, and one quick thing. If you are doing the advanced method with the MKV file format, you're going to have to go up here to File and Remux. Then click on the file that you want, the video that you want to remux, okay? If you don't do that, well, it's up to you if you want to do that or not, but if you don't do that, you won't be able to put it into a editing program. So you need to make sure that you remux it into an MP4 file format, so that way you can put it into a video editor. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time. Anyway, hope that helps.